There's an old saying that man's greatest surprise is old age. I reckon in our age group, sort of in your 40s right up to your 70s, maybe even beyond, one of the other great surprises is realizing that you're actually kind of lonely. Because in the early days, we sort of travel in herds, we travel in packs, and we always have people around us in our workplace. We have lots of acquaintances, maybe quite a few friends. But as we get older and we get deeper and deeper into our work, and then family responsibilities continue to grow, our circle of friends and circle of associates tends to shrink until one day we sort of wake up and realize that outside of family, maybe one or two friends, we're actually feeling kind of lonely with respect to friendships of men in a similar age, similar station in life, similar stage of life to us. And it doesn't happen suddenly. It's kind of a slow erosion of these friendships. Our careers take hold, people move away, our careers change, our circle of friends changes, family responsibilities take over, as I said. We cancel this event because we're too busy or we're too burned out. And slowly those ties that gave us our circle of influence and our circle of friendships tends to diminish until it gets down to almost nothing. Those friendships become sort of a vague idea of, we must catch up sometime. And I've certainly had my share of those too. I've had friendships that lasted literally decades, but then circumstances changed either in my life or in their life. It could be geographical. It could be with respect to our partners and the influence that they have on our life. I know that when I married my second wife, a lot of my friends found her to be so abrasive that they actively avoided seeing me. Because if she was with me, they found that uncomfortable. And B, because she had such a tremendous influence on me and my behavior that they started not to like me so much. And I can see that now. I can understand why they felt that way. And I certainly don't blame them for that. I mean, the fact that I ended up divorcing kind of backs that up, that ultimately, at the end of the day, for similar reasons and other reasons, I ended up feeling the same. And eventually, at some point, you get to a stage where you don't have anyone anymore that you could call at midnight, like you might have when you were younger, and say, hey, listen, come over. I need to talk to you. Or I've got this problem. I need to get your advice. Or just come over and have a beer. Let's have a yak. Those, opportunities start to disappear. We sort of lose our little tribe of people and we start to feel like we don't really belong anywhere. And for the most part, it's not our fault. I mean, the way we're raised is to sort of work shoulder to shoulder on specific tasks and challenges. And the workplace gives us that in most cases. But as we transition away from the workplace and as the hold that our work has on us begins to diminish, we realize that we no longer have a close circle of friends that we can have those deep conversations with, that we can have an emotional connection to. And that's a significant loss. But the good news is this kind of slow boiling frog loneliness is reversible. And the solution is quite simple. We need to be the initiators. We need to go from a place of having people who are around us through circumstance to actually taking an active role in courting the time and attention and the friendships of people who we actually want to spend time with. And sometimes it's just as simple as pulling out the old phone book on our phone or whatever and just looking back at the people that we enjoyed spending time with or that we would enjoy spending time with now, probably more particularly, and sending them an email or giving them a call and saying, hey, Bob, it's been years. I'd love to know what you're up to. Let's catch up. And it might pay to tell them up front that, hey, listen, I'm not selling you anything. I don't want anything from you. I've just been thinking lately that it's been a long time since we actually spent time together. And I used to really enjoy your company. Or, as was the case with one of my closest best friends these days, who was the CEO of the company I've worked with for 28 years and then became the chairman before retiring, is we never had a friendship outside of the work environment. But I knew that I enjoyed his company so much, and his character and his principles, that I wanted to actively seek him out to develop a friendship with outside of work. And as a result of that, we've become firm friends, and we've enjoyed many lunches together, such that we eventually decided, let's invite some of the other guys along who we've had friendships with through work over the years and see if they'd like to join us. And it's now gotten to a point where we have a whole group of guys where we get together every probably 4 to 8 weeks, and we have sort of a roster of who's up next to pick a restaurant or a location for us to have a nice long lunch together. And that person pays for the lunch, and we all have a great old chat. And then it moves on to the next person. And this has been tremendous. And we all value these lunch appointments that we have with each other, so much so that if there's anything else that tries to encroach on a date that's been set to have that lunch, that thing gets pushed aside. One of them, Roger, even flies in most of the time now for these lunches. He's sort of a recent one to join this circle of friends. And we've actually even named it, we've called it Cool, Kool, because I coined the phrase a long time ago that this was the nights of the occasional lunches. So one of the chaps, Frank, who I've known for, close to 3 decades now, he was the head of software development with this company that I work with, now retired. And when he retired, he got into woodworking and furniture making and making toys for his grandkids and that sort of stuff. And he's a lovely bloke, fabulous bloke, highly intelligent, extremely affable, very down to earth, lovely guy. And he made pens for all of us. I don't know if I've got mine here. Sausage fingers. So I don't know if you can see this very well. Hopefully you can. Let me put on my glasses to see if this is coming into focus, because I'm monitoring you remotely on my phone. So if I hold this up, does it focus? If I put it across my eyes? No, it doesn't. So annoying. But anyway, he made these beautiful pens out of timber and engraved Cool on them, Kool. And everybody has a unique pen. They're all different. And so as we have gradually introduced more and more of this group of guys into this nights of the occasional lunches, they have each received a personalised pen as well. And it's just lovely. It's fantastic. It's one of the best things I ever did, was to call up Ken and say, hey, why don't we have a coffee sometime? And that's been going on for years now. It's just been fabulous. So, my advice to you is, if you're starting to feel this, is to write an email to somebody. And, I'm extremely lucky because of my other YouTube channel, which is called Life Behind Glass. I've developed friendships with a bunch of the viewers of that channel who are similar age to me, who are into photography, into cars. And I receive emails from these guys on a regular basis, and it's lovely. And I've obviously received comments on my videos from them as well, and we engage in conversation. And I even recently went to Perth for a talk that I gave for the launch of the Hasselblad X2D2 and the XCD 35-100, to talk about how I got into photography, how I chose Hasselblad, and about car photography and how to do it. And one of the guys who's been following me for a little while on YouTube actually drove down 2 hours from north of Perth to come and hang out with me for this event. And it was just so nice. Mark Wheeler, lovely bloke. And I so enjoyed it. It was really the highlight of that event, was just chatting to some of these guys, particularly Mark. I really enjoyed that. So, send a message, send an email, make a phone call, send a text, and set a date to sit down and chat with somebody who you want to consciously and deliberately develop a friendship with again. And if you have something in common, like for me, photography and cars, stuff like that, well, then that's a great anchor, a great reason to get together and develop that friendship. Either, again, renew it or start it as a new friendship. Because as my dad said many years ago, and I said a number of times, if you get one good friend in your life, then you've done well. And if you can have a couple, well, then, you're doing extremely well. Because, we men, we don't need a crowd. when we get to this age, we don't need a crowd of people. We just need 2 or 3 good men around us, people that we can talk to about specific things, share the challenges that we're going through, listen to the challenges they're going through, and just give and receive some empathy and some advice, if requested. It's one of the most fulfilling and rewarding things you can do, no doubt about it. So just remember, loneliness is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of things that are missing from your life. More connection, more purpose, more camaraderie. That's what it's telling you need. So take the first step, make a connection with somebody, and get a new friendship started. It could be one of the best things you'll ever do. Anyway, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next video. Bye for now.